Hello everybody, it's me Feng Ling here, and today I'm going to talk about how humanity got hooked on coffee. Well, this video was actually meant to be yesterday's, but like yesterday there was some kind of problem so I couldn't make it, so I'm actually making it again today. First question. How did coffee first become known to human according to the famous story about Kaldi? Well, according to the famous story, then Kaldi found his goat becoming extremely energized after tasting a kind of berry. And he tasted that berry himself and then eventually experienced a burst of energy. And I think, just like in my opinion, I think that this is more like a legend rather than a historical story. But I think that maybe it shows how people may have first acknowledged coffee, and then they found out about it and then eventually used it. How did people in Ethiopia begin using coffee before it became a popular drink? Well, there were many ways that the people in Ethiopia used coffee. They used the leaves to make tea, and they used the berry with butter and salt to make it into a kind of snack, until eventually drying, roasting, and simmering the berries to make an energized drink. So these early uses helped coffee become a part of everybody's everyday life. So yes. How did coffee travel from Ethiopia to the Middle East and become part of religious and social life? Well, it traveled along trade routes from Ethiopia to Middle East, and then it started to grow around the 1450s, and then a leader who had visited Ethiopia just suggested to use it in religious rituals in some other place, and then it just eventually spread it all across the world. Why did coffee houses become important places for social and intellectual activities? Well, I think that because it is a place for people to meet, to talk, to spend time together, and enjoy entertainment. And it's not a place where they have to do something specifically. They could just spend time with other people, and then bond and do many things. So I think that coffee house became important centers of people's relationship bonds. How did coffee become a global product, and what role did the European empires play in its spread? Well, European empires helped spread it all across Asia and Latin America and also the Caribbean. And it also coffee also became a profitable crop for colonial powers and plantable owners. So eventually it was made into an industry, and yeah. How did technology change the way people produced and consumed coffee? Well, new technologies made coffee production much faster and more efficient. And the invention of the espresso machine in the early 20th century changed the way that people made coffee and enjoyed it. It would help people save time from coming to coffee houses to actually making it at home, and these developments could help coffee become an everyday product for millions of people around the world. How has coffee culture changed from traditional coffee houses to modern coffee shops? Well, traditional coffee houses were places where people would gather to socialize, exchange ideas, and entertain. While modern coffee shops would still provide social places, but people could also use them for studying and working and doing things individually. So this shows how one drink could actually change the meanings of the meanings of places, different meanings in different society. Yes, sorry. What problems have affected coffee farmers and workers throughout the history of coffee industries? Well, there have been many problems in the history of coffee industries, like deforestation and environmental damage in some places because they had it to harvest too much, and there are too many consumers and not enough coffee, and sometimes they just have to grow coffee in an efficient way, which would make it less how can I explain it, they won't have as good results as they used to, and but right now farmers have started to go to some means to actually try to improve and find the solutions to these problems. So this effort would actually show the way that coffee is produced is just as important as how it tastes. After watching this talk, what is the most interesting thing you learned about coffee? Well, I think that the most interesting thing that I have learned is that it has a much longer history than I have known. And also, the legend of actually finding coffee was quite funny to me. And I think that maybe I could use it in some kind of essays and talk about coffee. And I think that maybe that would be really interesting. Well, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!